Well, hello there, it's me, and yes, I'm recording on the iPad again because I really can't be bothered to set up loads of cameras. Because I've got the microphone and stuff here from recording. I just recorded a camera projection tutorial that'll be going up at some point. I think I have one more video that's currently on YouTube before I have to add some more ones. Now, looking at what I have on my list of things that originally I was going to do as part of this course. We've still got obviously camera projection, which I've just done. I did two goes at it actually because I recorded it last night using an old mat that I did for my short of Gods and Men. You know, people know the story behind that one. You know, one of the times when I epically screwed up many years back. For those that don't know, I decided to make a film quality short in about 4 months, and then eventually I ended up just me doing it. The other person had to drop out because of work commitments. Then, with 28 days to go, all my drives and backup drives blew, and instead of holding my hands up and saying, "I can't do it," Mr. Pig-headed here decided he was going to do it anyway, and I was pulling 22-hour days, trying to make this look good, and eventually it looked terrible. And I was that close to it at the time. I didn't realise. Honestly, didn't realise. And I was sitting at the end user event, and that year, and that's when I had my first stroke. And that was one of the contributing factors, along with, you know, obviously being awake for 22 hours a fucking day, having about 40 coffees a day, living a very unhealthy lifestyle. But yeah, so it's not got the best memories. It's probably why I thought that version of the camera projection tutorial, I've dumped it. Although everything's fine in it, I think it didn't look as good as it could have done because I was working with a dodgy matte painting that I'd done a long time ago. And also, it came across as overly confusing. So the one that's going up is very, very simple. We'll be doing a few of them to try and show different ways you can use camera projection, because it is one of the mainstays of visual effects. And as I say in the video, it doesn't matter whether it's ILM, wetlet, DNEG, MPC, or a small studio with 3 guys in the 3D department, right? They all use camera projection because it's a cheap way of getting shots out. And the amount of times when you see, you know, a 3D shot of a huge sci-fi city or city somewhere, they're not rendering every frame, trust me. They don't do that. What they're basically doing is they'll have a multi-camera projection going on. If it's more than one shot, they might have a load of them, but usually it's like they've got 2 or 3 different angles and know exactly where the camera's going from the animatic, and that's it. If you go outside of that, it will break, but you never see that, right? It's the simplest way of doing it, because you don't really want to be rendering, you know, hundreds of millions of polys if you don't have to, right? So what's left after you've got multi-camera projection, there's using, you know, how to get motion blur with velocity pass, there's how to do relighting, how to tune subsurface scattering. That one might go the way of the dodo if I haven't got a good enough model to show with it. There's stuff using the copy mode, you know, there's all sorts of stuff, but I think there's probably about a month or 2 more of videos on this series before I call it a day on that, because I don't want to go too far into stuff, right? I don't want to go into like showing you how to do like rotoscoping. That's not. There's an old saying that Mr. Yanko and me had about me, because when I was, you know, 3D supervisor on Last Days on Mars, with Yanko was, you know, in charge of all the sort of tracking stuff, because he's a tracking ninja. And I says, he's on something writing on where I said, look, you know, you know the film Machete? He says, Machete don't text, Wayne don't roto. I do not rotoscope, ever. I hate it. Especially when years ago having carpal tunnel, it's not a good idea. So that's basically what's been going on with that. So after that, I might take a little break for a while, I might not. I might start doing some stuff on using the two together. I might start doing a bit. It depends really. I could do some Mac stuff, I could do some my stuff, I could do some Modo stuff. Nobody's ever seen the stuff I do in Modo, because it's normally work stuff. So I'm unsure of which way forward to go. I'll see how it goes. You know, these videos aren't exactly setting the world on fire when it comes to hits at the moment, so that makes me less inclined to take it into a long course. As I said originally, if, you know, there was basically me and 5 guys and a cat watching it, then it wouldn't last long, right? The stuff will still be there, and I know it'll do well in the long term, but it's a bit busy, isn't it? You know. Those wondering about my dodgy arm, it is getting better. I've been able to start doing some work again with Chaos Group this week. Less hours than I used to do because I'm ramping up gently. I've still, at the end of this finger, still numb on and off and stuff. I've actually not done my exercises from physio yet today, which I should do. Slap on my wrist for me. I'll go back to physio on Tuesday. We'll see what they say. Hopefully it's, you know, good news and just say keep on doing what you're doing. And that'll be about it, you know. On other news, I've got yet another cigar box guitar that I managed to buy on eBay for £31, which is fantastic. For those who don't know, the cigar box guitar is a very old traditional instrument. It was used in blues and also in country as well. Because only the rich kids could afford guitars, you see, and if you were on a plantation or living up in the fucking mountains, there weren't many guitar shops, so you had to improvise, and normally it would be a lump of wood and a cigar box, or sometimes an oil can for the body. And they made it of what they had. So it has a unique sound, and only has 3 strings. Of course, people know that I play all sorts of bloody instruments. I've lost count of how many I play at the moment. It's sort of like the new thing I'm doing at the moment. I've got a lad making a proper high-end one, if you know what I mean, the neck for a high-end one at the moment. It's sort of like, because the one I've got, it's basic the way it should do, but I want the one that's got a neck pickup because then I can stick it to the amp. This one's got a P's one, it just goes and screeches and picks up all the farts and whistles and shit from the room, which is no good. But anyway, yeah, that's basically it. So it's Easter tomorrow, Sunday, so happy Easter and all that if you celebrate it. The rest of us, you know, have a chocolate egg or something. But I have the kids over tomorrow for a few days, so that'll be fun. Which is also a reason why I try and get these videos recorded on a weekend. And the kids are, you know, like when they're not here, because it makes life so much easier than when they're off school. But yes, anyway, that's me done. I've been chatting on for 7.5 minutes exactly, so it's time for me to go bye bye.